सर्वेषां नमस्कारः। पठत संस्कृतं वदत संस्कृतं।
पठत संस्कृतं वदत संस्कृतं।
लसतु संस्कृतं चिरं।
लसतु संस्कृतं चिरं।
गृहे गृहे च पुनरपि।
गृहे गृहे च पुनरपि।
पठत संस्कृतं वदत संस्कृतं।
पठत संस्कृतं वदत संस्कृतं।
लसतु संस्कृतं चिरं।
लसतु संस्कृतं चिरं।
गृहे गृहे च पुनरपि।
गृहे गृहे च पुनरपि।
ज्ञानवैभवम्
ज्ञानवैभवम्
वेदवाङ्मयम्
वेदवाङ्मयम्
लसति यत्र भवभय
लसति यत्र भवभय
अपहारि मुनिभिराजितम्
अपहारि मुनिविराजितम्
कीर्तिराजिता
कीर्तिराजिता
यस्य प्रणयनात्
यस्य प्रयाणात्
व्यासभास कालिदास
व्यासभास कालिदास
बाणमुख्य कविभिः।
भावमुख्य कविमुः।
उत्तमम्। अन्य कोऽपि? पठत संस्कृतं
पठत संस्कृतं
वदत संस्कृतं।
वदत संस्कृतं।
लसतु संस्कृतं चिरं।
लसतु संस्कृतं चिरं।
गृहे गृहे च पुनरपि।
गृहे गृहे च पुनरपि।
उत्तमम्। सुमित्रा भगिनी। स्थानमूर्जितं यस्य मन्वते वाग्विचिन्तका विवाक्षु यस्य वीक्ष मधुरताम् यद्विना जना नैव जानते भारतीय संस्कृतिं सनातनाभिधाम्बराम्। पठत संस्कृतं वदत संस्कृतं। लसतु संस्कृतं चिरं। गृहे गृहे च पुनरपि। जयतु संस्कृतं संस्कृतिस्तथा संस्कृतस्य संस्कृतेश्च प्रणयनाच्च मनुकुलम्। जयतु संस्कृतं जयतु मनुकुलम्। जयतु जयतु संस्कृतं जयतु जयतु मनुकुलम्। जयतु जयतु संस्कृतं जयतु जयतु मनुकुलम्। पठत संस्कृतं वदत संस्कृतं। लसतु संस्कृतं चिरं।
लसतु संस्कृतं चिरं
गृहे गृहे च पुनरपि
गृहे गृहे च पुनरपि
गृहे गृहे च पुनरपि
गृहे गृहे च पुनरपि
उत्तमं सर्वेषां नमस्कारः सुस्वागतम् वयं दशावतारस्तोत्र विषये किञ्चित् दृष्टवन्तः. So we've seen a little bit about the Dasavatara Stotra. So we will first recite the first sloka, and today we will see the word-to-word meaning of the second sloka. Any of you who missed the first sloka, it is available in our YouTube link, so you can go and have a look at the previous topic. So today we will be doing the second sloka, word-to-word meaning. Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha.
Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha.
Srimate Nigamanta Mahadeshikaya Namaha.
Srimati Mahadvasikaya Namaha.
Srimate Nigamanta
Srimate Rigamantra Nigamantra
Mahadeshikaya Namaha.
Mahadikshikaya Namaha.
Okay, so this is the salutation of the Acharya who authored the sloka. So we will tell this. Sudhir Mahodaya. Shriman Venkatanatharya
श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः
Kavitarkika Kesari
कवितार्किककेसरी
Vedantacharya Varyo me
वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे
Sannidhattam Sada Hridi.
सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि
Devo na Shubhama
देवो नः शुभमा
Tanotu Dashadha
तनोतु दशधा
Nirvartayan Bhumikam
निर्वर्तयन् भूमिकाम्
Range Dhamani
रङ्गे धामनि
Labdha Nirbhara Rasaihi
लब्धनिर्भररसैः
Adhyakshito Bhavukaihi
अध्यक्षितो भावुकैः
Yadbhaveshu
यद्भावेषु
Pritagvideshvanugunan
पृथग्विदेष्वनुगुणान्
Bhavan Swayam Bibhrati
भावान् स्वयं बिभ्रति
Yadharmairiha Dharmini
यद्धर्मैरिह धर्मिणी
Viharate Nana Kritirnaika.
विहरते नानाकृतिर्नायिका
Uttama. Before we go on to the details of the second sloka, I can find an echo. Can everybody please mute? Let us recap the Subhashitas that we learnt. Suresh Mahodaya, you can repeat. Acharyat padamadatte
आचार्यात् पादमद्दत्ते
padamadatte
पादमादत्ते
padam shishyasvamedhaya
पादं शिष्यस्वमेधया
padam sabrahmacharibhyah
पादं सब्रह्मचारिभ्यः
padam kalakramena cha.
पादं कालक्रमेण च
Uttam. Saumya Bhagini. Udaye savita rakto
उदये सविता रक्तो
raktaschastamane tatha
रक्तश्चास्तमने समने एतथा
सम्पत्तौ च विपत्तौ च
सम्पत्तौ च विपत्तौ च
महताम् एकरूपता.
महतामेकरूपता.
Uttamam. The other Subhashitam, I think I shared it in our group. It's there in the WhatsApp. I meant to add it in the slide. So you can look at the WhatsApp and you can repeat after me. Vipado naiva vipadaha.
विपदो नैव विपदः
Sampado naiva sampadaha.
सम्पदो नैव सम्पदः
Vipad vismaranam Vishnoः.
विस्मरणं विष्णोः
Sampadnarayana smritiः.
सम्पत्नारायणस्मृतिः.
Uttam. We will now go to the second sloka of the Matsya of the Dasavatara Stotra. This is about the Matsyavadara. Nirmagna Shruti Jala Margana Dasha
निर्मग्नश्रुतिजालमार्गणदशा
Dattakshanayir Vikshanaihi
दत्तक्षणैर्वीक्षणैः
Antastanva
अन्तस्तन्वा
Divaravinda Gahana
दिवारविन्दगहना
Yaudanvati Namapam
यौदन्वती नामपाम्
Nishpratyuha
निप्रत्यूहा
Tarangaringanamita
तरङ्गरिङ्गणमितः
Pratyudapataschtha
प्रत्यूढपातश्चठा
Dolaroha Sadohalam
डोलारोहसदोहळम्
Bhagavato
भगवतो
Matsyam Vapupatunaha.
आच्यं वपुः पातु नः.
Jai Shri Krishna. So we've already seen about the Matsyavatara. So Matsyavatara, it was Bhagavan's very beautiful Leela about where he took the avatar of a fish, right? So in the form of fish, he came and he retrieved the Vedas. So let's just recollect. What was the name of the king? Satyavrata. The king was Satyavrata Maharaja. In fact, he was a Chakravarti, not just a king. And this happened during the Chakshusha Manvantara, which is the Manvantara prior to the Manvantara we are in. So we are now in the, which Manvantara are we in?
वैवस्वत मन्वन्तरम्.
Yes, we are in the Vaivasvata Manvantara. So this happened during the end of the Chakshusha Manvantara. And then the Sandhi Kala happened. And then this Manvantara started. So that Satyavrata Raja is now the Manu of the Vaivasvata Manvantara, the Vaivasvata Manu, right? He is the Vaivasvata Manu now. Earlier, he was the Satyavrata Maharaja. So Bhagavan took this avatara in a river. We spoke about the river. Anybody remembers the name of the river?
Krutamala.
Yes, wonderful. Kritamala is the name of the river. And it is one of the offshoots of Vaigai, which is in Madurai. So Matsyavatara happened very much in, the southern India, Vaigai, Madurai. So we have to be very proud of it that Matsyavatara Kshetra is right here. So it happened in Kritamala, where Bhagavan appeared as a small fish. So he requested for protection, and the king transferred him into a small kamandalu. The fish overgrew. We saw the story. and then he moved it into a bigger water space. The fish overgrew. Put it in the well, the fish overgrew. Put it in the lake, the fish overgrew. In the ocean, it could not, fit in. And then it moved on to a water reservoir and then to the ocean. The fish was overgrowing. And finally, the king says, "Oh my God, you asked me for protection. So tell me your message. This is my Bhagavan who has come to have his Leela with me." So now he falls at the feet of Bhagavan. And then Bhagavan says that, "Hey king, the 7 days from now, the 3 worlds, Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, all the way till the Swargaloka, is going to be having a pralaya. Everything is going to merge in the water. A pralaya is going to happen. After this, the creation should happen again. So whatever is required for the next creation, take everything in the subtle form, So if plants are needed, take all the seeds which are required. If knowledge is required, take the Saptarishis with you because they are the embodiment of all knowledge sources. So like this, he says, take whatever is required for the future creation. So after 7 days, I will come here in this form, he's now in the form of a huge fish, which can't even fit into the ocean. So that kind of a fish he is. He says, I'm going to come, tie Vasugi, because I'll be having one, what do you call it? The fish will have one
Horn.
One
horn.
horn.
Yeah, it's like a horn. No? Fishes usually don't have a horn. So eka shringam bhavati tasya. So there you should tie the Vasuki as a rope to the huge ship which can carry the entire contents of the future creation. Now think about the size of the fish. Think about the size of the ship. Because if we have to vacate from one house to another, we know what is the size of contents that we need for one human being, for one life. Now, this is the small form of everything required. So, Matsyavatara Murti gives this homework to Satyavrata Maharaja, who slogs out, gets everything in place, gets the Saptarishis. So he, his wife, the rishis, everybody are now waiting for Bhagavan. Bhagavan, as promised, comes after 7 days in a golden white fish form. And Vasuki is tied to the ship which contains everything. And Bhagavan takes them beyond the water. The Pralaya Jala covers everything. Now Bhagavan takes them beyond the water. He says, Bhuhu Bhuvaha Swaha is going to come under the water. So think about what is the distance they should have traveled. In the meantime, what's happened is Asura named Hayagriva takes the Vedas from Bhagavan, hides it inside the water. He goes to the Patala, Rasatala Loka, something like that. He goes way below the waters, hides the Vedas. Now, after leaving everybody to safety, Bhagavan plunges inside the deep water, searches where the Asura is, retrieves the Veda, goes and gives it back to the Chaturmurti Brahma. So while the travel was happening, where he was taking everybody to safety, the king, the Saptarishis, and everybody, when Bhagavan was taking them to safety, it was a long duration, right? It was the entire Brahma's sleeping time where this pralaya happens. When Brahma wakes up, the Srishti happens. When Brahma sleeps, the pralaya happens, right? So for that entire duration, Bhagavan was teaching the Sankhya Yoga to the Saptarishis and this Manu. So all this knowledge was gained by all these great people during that point of time. So Matsyavatara Murti is also a Jnana Murti. He is a teacher to all these great people. So this particular sloka of Bhagavan is about this great avatara of Matsya, where Swami Sri Vedanta Deshika focuses on the second part, where Bhagavan plunges into the water and retrieves the Veda, right? So that is explained extremely in a very, very poetic beauty. So we will enjoy the beauty of it. there are a lot of subtle things that we have to understand about the Matsyavatara. So once we do the word-to-word meaning, we will dwell on the other beautiful experiences that this particular sloka can bring. And depending on the time available, I would also like to touch upon the sloka in Sahasranama, which deals about the Matsyavatara. So let's see how it goes. So let's go into the word-to-word meaning of this sloka. So if you all have the sloka, you can keep that. Nirmagna Shruti Jala Margana Datha Dasha Datta Kshanayir Vikshanaihi. Actually, I'll display the sloka here so that it'll be easy for all of you.
Screen not drishyate Bhagini.
Amidanam Darshayami. Idanam Drishyate Khalu. So the sloka is Nirmagna Shruti Jala Margana Dasha Datta Kshanayir Vikshanaihi. So Nirmagna. Nimagna hasti, we always say, right? One who is immersed, Nimagna. There is a lag that I see here. Is my audio clear?
Yes, Bhagini. Clear. Clear.
Clear, clear.
Shruti Jhala. Shruti means the Vedas. So Nirmagna, immersed. Shruti Jhala, the essence of all the Vedas. Margana Dasha. Marga, we all know the path, right? Margana Dasha. Now Bhagavan is searching for the path. Like, he's searching. Where is the Veda? Where is the Veda? Inside the water. Tatta Kshanai Vikshanai. So his eyes are gazing everywhere. Vikshanaihi, because he's seeing, it looks like he's staring everywhere, like this, inside the water. Now we all know, right? The fishes don't even blink. So imagine Bhagavan's eye, it's just stationed like that. He is gazing, looking at everything there. So Nirmagna Shruti Jala Margana Dasha Tatta Kshanaihi, gazing, Vikshanaihi, because of seeing, in every direction, Vikshanaihi. Now what happens? Antaha, inside. Tanva iva, like the creation, like the Srishti is happening. Aravinda Gahanani. Antastanva Divaravinda Gahana is there, na? Antaha Tanva Iva Aravinda. Antastanva Divaravinda Gahanani. Yaudanvatinam. Apam. That's how you split it. So Antaha, inside. Actually, this should be Apam Antaha, inside the water. Apa means water. Inside the water, Apam Antaha, Tanvat Iva, as if a Shrishti is happening, as if a creation is happening. Aravinda Gahanani. So what is the Shrishti? The lotus forest. His Bhagavan's eyes are supposed to be like lotus. Aravinda Lochanaha, Kalu Saha. Ataha Tasya Netram Katam Asti, Aravinda Iva Asti. Here, Aravinda Gahanani, it is like a forest of lotus, not just one or two lotuses. Now imagine what is happening. Bhagavan's eye is here. So he is jumping into the water, looking here, looking there, looking here, looking there, at a speed that lotus eyes, lotus eyes, lotus eyes, lotus eyes, everywhere lotus. It looks like one huge lotus forest. Aravinda Gahanani. Yaudanvatinam. So all these lotuses are in that water, right? Inside that water. So it looks like these lotuses belong to that water itself, as if it's a lotus forest inside the water. Okay, so that's the beauty of description here. Then the third line, Nishpratyuha tarangaringana mitha pratyuda pataschatha. Now, Pratyuha, Nishpratyuha, without interruption. Without any interruption, what happens? Taranga ringana mitaha. So now Bhagavan is jumping inside the water. So what happens? A lot of water flashes out, right? So that is like a wave that comes. Taranga is a wave. So Taranga ringa, it is all caused by waves. What happens? These waves hit at each other. Now, when the waves are hitting at each other, there is some water that is created, which will again swing up and down. Now, Bhagavan jumps, creating these waves. These waves create and hit each other. That feels like one swing for Bhagavan. So he plays his jula. Just imagine the Dolotsavam of Bhagavan. Emma Sama's song is also there, right? Dola yam chala. So like that, Bhagavan is now in that dola form. This huge fish is jumping, it's playing the jula because of the waves that it's created by itself without any interruption. So Nishpratyuha, without interruption. Taranga ringa, it's all caused by the tarangas, by the waves. Mitaha, which hits at each other. Pratyuda mitaha, which hits at each other. Pataschata, creating the water body. Now what happens in that? Dola. So in that is the dola which is happening. Bhagavan is swinging there. Aroha. And he's climbing on the dola, and then the dola is happening. Aroha. Dolaroha sadohalam bhagavataha. So sadohalam is like, he's happily, enthusiastically playing the jula. It's like his leela. Dolaroha sadohalam bhagavataha. That Bhagavan, how is he now? Matsyam Bapuhu. Bapuhu means Rupam. He's taken the form of what? Matsyam. Matsya Rupa. Matsya Rupi Bhagavan. Patu. Protect. Naha. Asman. Let that Bhagavan, who is in the form of Matsya Rupa, protect all of us. So let's just visualize this beauty where Swami Vedanta Deshika enjoys Bhagavan in a very, very unique pattern where he says that the Vedas have now got immersed into that water because of the Asura. We know the background story. Now Bhagavan has to go and retrieve that Vedas. Everything is a Leela for Bhagavan. So what does he do? He plunges into that water and searches, where is the Vedas? Where is the Vedas? Where is the Vedas? Now, when Bhagavan is in any form, in any avatara, we've seen earlier, all the lakshanas of Bhagavan are always the same. Even in the avataras, he is a paripurna, right? So, one of the unique qualities of Bhagavan is his eyes. Whenever Bhagavan is born, his eyes will be lotus eyes. That's why even in Krishnavadara, even during the Kurukshetra Yuddha, Arjuna addresses Bhagavan as Padmapatra, Kamalapatra. All these names come even in the Bhagavad Gita. Kamalapatraksha, that is one of the names in the 11th chapter. In the Vishwarupa Darshanam also he says, hey Kamalapatraksha, right? And when Bhagavan is born as a little baby inside the Karagraha, in the jail, Tamadbudam Balakam Ambujeksham. That beautiful Krishna with his lotus eyes. So from the birth, be it in the war, wherever, Bhagavan's eyes are, like lotus. In Ramavatara, similarly, in many places, he's explained as he has lotus eyes. Now in Matsyavatara, Swami Deshika brings that unique quality of Bhagavan, saying that lotus eyes, the uniqueness of that lotus eyes. So what happens? When Bhagavan is immersed in water, he's searching, gazing everywhere. And inside that ocean, because of the speed of the gaze of Bhagavan in different locations, it looks as if the lotus is blooming in many, many places simultaneously, because such is the speed of Bhagavan. And inside the ocean, it looks like a lotus forest is being created. And because of the speed in which he's plunging in, waves are created. And in those waves, Bhagavan is playing like a jula is swinging on him. He's sitting on the jula and swinging. And this is such a beautiful leela. Let that Bhagavan, who is in this form of a huge Matsyavatara Murti, protect all of us. So that is this sloka. Any questions on this?
Bhagini, how come that Pralayam and then Veda Aparanam is related, Bhagini?
Both are happening parallelly. On one side, the pralaya is happening. So for the pralaya, Bhagavan is protecting all these people. He's taking them that side. So when Brahmadeva sleeps, it's going to be pralaya kala. So as Brahma sleeps away, this Asura steals away the Vedas from him and hides it in the deep water. So Bhagavan goes, takes that and gives it back for the next creation, makes these items ready for the next creation so that the next creation can happen. He preaches this again to Brahma. On the travel time, he preaches the Sankhya Yoga to the Saptarishis and to the Manu, the future Manu, that is Vaivasvata Manu, he teaches it. So there are two Leelas in Matsyavatara itself. Okay. So we have a lot of very, very interesting, subtle things that we have to know about the Matsyavatara. If you're clear about the sloka, we will go on to other learnings of Matsyavatara.
Okay, Maji.
Okay. So in the Matsyavatara, what happens is that, a lot of life lessons are there. Usually we speak about avatars means Ramakrishna or Narsimha Avatara is what we speak. But Matsyavatara has a lot for us to offer. So in the Matsyavatara, as we said, if we have any Ketu effect in our Jataka, people can worship the Matsyavatara Murti. So we said in the Dasavatara listing itself, Matsyavatara is related to Ketu. So any doshas of Ketu, the prayashrita can be done to the Matsyavatara Murti also. So we've seen that. Now, Matsyavatara is very important in the sense that Satyavrata Maharaja promised to protect the little fish, right? The little fish asked for the protection to Satyavrata Maharaja. So what does the Raja says? Yes, I will protect you. And he takes it in the Kamandalu, thinking that the fish was a little fish, right? But now the fish grew. He is a king. Why should he even care about what he told to a fish, right? But he ensures that he takes the fish to his well, protects it. He takes it to the water bodies, protects it. He takes it to different locations, to the lake, to the ocean, everything. Not once did Satyavrata Maharaja says, to hell with the fish, I have to sleep, it's night time, forget it, So the vak that was given so much of importance, even though it was only to a fish. The amount of value system that our ancestors had. Once a word is given, if I say I'm going to protect, come what may, I have to protect. That vak of Satyavrata Maharaja is something that our ancestors were practicing and we are expected to practice. We can learn that from this important charitra where just because of giving a word, to what extent did he go? How many times he actually changed the fish from one location to the other location for it to be protected. So that is one important learning for us. The next one is Bhagavan is the Sarva Rakshakaha. He protects everyone, right? Now, whenever a protector himself is seeking protection, it means that we need protection from him, right? Now, the protector asking protection, that beauty can be felt in the Matsyavatara. Like in the Vamana Avatara, Bhagavan, who has everything, goes asking for Bhiksha from Mahabali. So when Bhagavan is seeking, it means that Bali has to seek, Bali has to surrender, right? So like that, when Bhagavan is asking for protection, it means that all of us need his protection, right? So even to protect Bhagavan, we have to surrender to Bhagavan. So that beauty is also brought out in this wonderful episode of Matsyavatara Kshetra. Another very interesting aspect for us to observe here is Bhagavan took this small fish which could be carried on the hand. Satyavrata Maharaja did not realize that it was the king. It was Bhagavan. Bhagavan grew a little more. It still did not appeal to him that it could be Bhagavan. So how many times did Bhagavan grow? Bhagavan grew from the smallest to the largest till such time that the Chakravarti realized that this is Bhagavan. So Bhagavan keeps taking efforts, keeps doing so many other things just to help the Jivatma realize that it is Bhagavan. So even for us, there are so many subtle things all the time happening around us. We fail to recognize it. So Bhagavan does something else for us. We fail to recognize it's Bhagavan. So he keeps doing so many things to us. He keeps protecting us in so many ways, but we are not focusing on those. We are just focusing on what we want, saying that Bhagavan is not even opening his eyes and things like that, right? But Bhagavan keeps taking so much of efforts for our sake till we realize that, hey, it is Bhagavan. We just have to surrender to him. So till such time, this is such an explicit example where Bhagavan keeps growing, waiting patiently till the Satyavrata Maharaja realizes that it is Bhagavan. And then he surrenders to him. So it is very important for us to understand all the efforts that Bhagavan takes for us and surrender to him. That is also very, very beautifully brought out in the Matsyavatara. There are certain symbolisms also which we can understand here. In Sanskritam, we call it as a Kupa Manduka Nyaya. Kupa Manduka Nyaya means a frog is inside the well. So when it is inside the well, the frog will think that only what it sees in the well is its world. It will not know anything outside of it. So Kupa Manduka means what I know is all what is there. That's all. Now, this Matsyavatara Murti said, no, outgrow it. So when he was put inside a Kamandalu, he grew out. There are so many other bigger things. See the big picture, So when he was put inside an ocean, see the big picture. So nothing could curtail. Similarly, the Jnana Bhandara that is available to us cannot be curtailed. Our Sanatana Dharma does not speak about anything which is in one book, one source, one thing. No, everything is universal. The knowledge is universal. Whatever we learn is just very little. Outgrow yourself, outgrow yourself, outgrow yourself. And even after outgrowing, even after doing everything, Bhagavan still had to preach them for this entire sleeping time of Brahma. So how much of knowledge is available for us to know? So Kupa Manduka, never be a Kupa Manduka. Outgrow, reach out, learn as much as possible is one other very important thing we can understand here. One more concept which we have to think about deeply. In fact, this is reflected in many avatars of Bhagavan, which especially is very prominent in Matsyavatara and is also advised by Bhagavan in Bhagavad Gita, is that when we look at this avatara, what all has Bhagavan done? Bhagavan, on one side, protected the Vedas. On the other side, he instructed Satyavrata Raja to save everything in its subtle form. He asked him to protect the Saptarishis and everything, create a ship, check out with Vasuki, tie using Vasuki. He said he himself will come. He dragged everything. He did Upadesa. Now, a basic question is, if Bhagavan does all these things, Can't he himself take care? Why should he ask Satyavrata to do all this? He's come multiple times. He's done all this. Can't he do it, start to end? Why should he want this particular aspect to be done by Satyavrata? That is where it is important. Human effort is the key to everything. Bhagavan's kripa will be there. But as a Jivatma, our efforts have to be there. Otherwise, why should Bhagavan do anything at all? Bhagavan is capable of doing. Bhagavan does 90% of it. But he wants some participation from us. If we do not do our part, why would Bhagavan do his part, right? So it is very evident here where Bhagavan comes and he says, I am giving you 7 days time. Do your work in 7 days. I will come after 7 days. If you've done your work, I'm going to protect you. Which means Jivatma has to do its work, then Paramatma will give his blessings. Right? So this is very, very important. And even in the Jivatma, Bhagavan did not say, I will do the entire creation from scratch. No. He said, collect everything in the subtle form. Have all the Saptarishis protected. Which means a team is involved in everything. Bhagavan always wants all these basic things also to be taken care of. So today in management, we speak of teamwork, we speak of, effort, of participation of people, everything. All this is so clearly established in Matsyavatara. So he protected the team, he protected everything for a start. He ensured that the Jivatma, in this case Satyavrata, works, does his part. And then he does his part. Bhagavan Sri Krishna tells this in Bhagavad Gita through Sanjaya as the very last sloka in Bhagavad Gita. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishnaha, Yatra Partho Dhanuldharaha, Tatra Shrihi Vijayaha Bhutihi Dhruva Nitihi Matirmama. Right? So what does this mean? Yatra Yogeshwara Krishnaha, where there is Bhagavan Krishna. Yatra Partho Dhanuldharaha. Yatra Parthaha Asti iti chet paryaptam kalu. If Arjuna is there, that should be sufficient. Why did he say Yatra Partho Dhanuldharaha? So if the Partha, if Arjuna is ready to fight, he's ready to do his duty along with his Dhanush. Because earlier, what did Arjuna say? Gandhibam samsrate hastat, tvakchaiva paridakhyate, vepatushta sharire me romaharshasya jayate. So he's so negative, he does not want to do his duty. He says his bow is falling off from his hand. That kind of Arjuna not doing a duty, no. That's not what Krishna says. So where all the success will be there, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Krishna's blessing is there as Yogeshwara, when Yatra Partho Dhanuldharaha, when Partha or the Jivatma is ready to do his duty, he is Dhanuldhara, he is going to do his dharma. At that time, what will happen? Tatra Shrihi Vijayaha Bhutihi Dhruvanitihi. That is where Shrihi, Goddess Mahalakshmi will be there. All fortune will be there. Tatra Shrihi Vijayaha, all sorts of success will be there. Dhruva Nitihi, appropriate Niti will be there. This is my conviction, says Sanjaya. Same thing as what Bhagavan is told in Matsyavatara. Look at the consistency between all the avatars. Such subtle aspects. So here he says, hey Satyavrata Raja, you do all the work that you have to do. Get all these ready. Get the team in place. Collect everything in subtle form. Make the ship ready. Speak to Vasuki. Do everything. I will come there and guide you to wherever you have to go. So both of them work together. So these are some beautiful things in Matsyavatara. So if we keep contemplating, many, many more such subtle things will be coming up. So for the last 10 minutes, I would like to tell this very interesting part from the Sahasranama. So all of us know about the Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra. In the Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra, there is this particular sloka which comes. There is a slight difference in the number, which certain acharyas, have slightly different numbers. So it is the 23rd sloka. You can look for the changes. Yes, Bhagini, Sumitra Bhagini was right. So the sloka is like this. Gurur Gurutamo Dhama Satya Satya Parakramaha Nimisho Nimisha Sagri Vachaspati Rutaradhihi. So this sloka, according to Acharya Parasara Bhatta, is on the Matsyavatara Murti itself. So this is the Sahasranama Bhashya, which is authored by Parasara Bhatta. So here he speaks about Gurur Gurutamo Dhama. Here, Guru Tamaha. In Sanskritam, we have the degrees, right? Guru Tara, Guru Tama. So normal, superlative, the ultimate, the superlative degrees are there. So here, Guru Tama means the topmost of the gurus. There is one more guru in front of Guru Tamo, which means to the topmost guru, the one who is the guru. So Gurur Guru Tamo, which means the guru of the topmost gurus. So here, the first guru itself is like an adjective. So guru is considered as a name by some acharyas. But what Parasara Bhatta has done here is, he says that guru is actually an adjective. He's not included that as a name. So Gurur Guru Tamo means the guru of all the topmost gurus. Why is he the guru of topmost gurus? Because Chaturmukha Brahma is considered the creator of everybody. He's the guru of everybody. Now Bhagavan did the Upadesham to Chaturmukha Brahma. Sapta Rishis are considered as the topmost of everything. He did the Upadesha to Sapta Rishis. Manu Bhagavan is considered as the progenitor for all of us. He is the guru of Manu Bhagavan. So to all these great preceptors,
And
Matsya
also,
Bhagavan is the teacher.
and also the figure, he's so big. Guru also means big, no?
Yes, yes, he's
So,
huge,
also,
right?
So
So Guru
bigger
Tama.
than big.
So wonderful.
Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. That also.
Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Here again a relationship between Krishnavadara and this. So what happens here is Gurur Guru Tamo. So he becomes the Guru Tama of everybody. Dhama. Dhama means the place of residence where all the people reside. So during this entire Dilanj, everything in its subtle form was being taken care of by Bhagavan, right? So Satyavrata Raja had carrying all the seeds, the movable, immovable objects, everything. So Bhagavan was the residing place for everyone. So he's the Dhamma in this case. Okay. Gurur Gurutamo Dhamma Satyaha. So Satyaha, because Bhagavan helped all those people who sought his help. So Satyavrata Maharaja surrendered to Bhagavan. So the protector of this Manu Bhagavan and all those people is the Satya. Satya means the protector in this case. You can take it as not just the truth, the eternal truth, the person who protects. Satyavak kind of thing we say, na? Satya Parakramaha. What kind of a power Bhagavan needs in order to drive them all the way during this entire Dilanj? So he's a Satya Parakrama. So Parakrama is the valor, the prowess of Bhagavan. So he's the prowess. Okay. The next is a very, very important phrase here. Nimeshaha, Animeshaha. Nimesha means the time we take to blink, right? That is called as a nimesha. The blinking is called as nimesha. So you close your eyes when you blink. So nimesha means when people are the enemies of his devotees, then Bhagavan's eyes are closed to them. He does not even open his eyes to the enemies of his devotees. Animesha means he never closes his eyes to his devotees. So that is a beauty. Now think about it. In Matsyavatara, what does Bhagavan do? And what is the explanation given by Swami Vedanta Deshika here is, his eyes are open and he's looking so fast that it looks like a lotus forest, right? Which means he does not even take away that, blinking time away from the devotees, because that part of the Karuna will not reach us. So he's a Animesha, so suitable to the Matsyavatara because Matsyavatara Murti does not blink. That duration is also not wasted from giving his Kripa Karaksha to the devotees. In fact, if we read the Srimad Bhagavata Purana, the 10th skanda, all the Gopikas sing a Gopika Geetam to Bhagavan Krishna. So in the Gopika Geetam, there is one sloka where the Gopikas will scold the Chaturmurti Brahma. They will tell, what is wrong with this Chaturmurti Brahma? Why did he give us the eyes which blink? Because when it is blinking, we are not able to see Krishna. That time is wasted, from seeing Krishna. So he should have given us millions of eyes so that we can see Bhagavan continuously. And those millions should also not blink. But he's given us only 2 eyes. And in that 2 eyes, he's also given us blinking time. What is wrong with this Brahma? So that is how a sloka goes. So like that, in this case, it's the reversal. Bhagavan's eye is Animesha. He does not blink at all. So Nimishaha, to the people who trouble his devotees, he does not even open his eyes. To his devotees, he does not even close his eyes. His Karuna Kataksha is always going the way the Matsya goes, right? So Nimishaha, Animeshaha. Shragvi. So, these are like when we relate it to Matsyavatara, Parasara Bhatta's Vyakhyana is such a wonderful pokisham for us, we can say. It's like you cannot find this kind of explanation because in many of the other Sahasranama Bhashyas, it's only the Samskrita Vyakarana Ritya Bhavati. But in Parasara Bhatta, it is like a lot of the attributes of Bhagavan which is brought out. It is the qualities of Bhagavan where the focus is. Because there is one phrase in Sahasranama which speaks about Vedavyas, Bhishmacharya saying all these Sahasranama, Yani Namani Gaunani Ityatani Mahatmana Rishibhi Parihitani. So what it says is that all these names are your qualities, right? So because these are your qualities, O Bhagavan, I'm going to elaborate on the names which are about your qualities. And these are not created by me. Rishi, all the rishis have told, I'm just going to give you just 1,000 of those because your qualities are unlimited. I'm just going to give you 1,000 of those. So Parasara Bhatta Acharya has taken those as the attributes of Bhagavan. And his grantha is called as the Bhagavad Guna Darpana, where he's elaborated just the meanings of the Sahasranama based on Bhagavan's gunas. And it includes all the avatars of Bhagavan. I was explaining about the Para, Vyuha, Vibhava, Antaryami, Archa, right? So all those are elaborated and all the Vibhava avatars are considered, of which this 23rd sloka is on the Matsyavatara. So that is how we understand the whole thing. So it's a real rare thing that Acharya has given us. Okay. So where were we? Shragvi. Vachaspati. Okay. Shragvi means the mala that he wears. Okay. Now, again, in Krishnavadhara, all of us know, right? He wears the Vanamala and things like that. In Sahasranama also we say Vanamali, Gati, Shanki, Shanki, Chakri, Chanandaki. So one of Bhagavan's Lakshanam is that beautiful garland. So here Shragvi, the Acharyas explained that even when he took the Matsyavatara, Bhagavan was still wearing that mala in him. The Vaijayanti mala was there in his neck. So that was a unique identifier. In addition to his lotus eyes, he was having the Vaijayanti mala adorned. So that is Shragvi. The next is such a beautiful term, Vachaspati. Vachaspati means vak. Vach is vak, right? Pati is Lord. So the Lord of the speech. Matsyavatara Murti is considered as a Vachaspati because he is the one who taught the Vedas to Brahma himself. So he is the Vachaspati. All the Vedic knowledge was transferred. So he is the Lord of speech. Udharati. He gave this entire Sankhya Yoga to the rishis, to Manu. So he is such a Udhara. Udharati. He fills people with this jnana. And they are like, oh my God, what do we do, right? So that kind of a bhava he brings to people. So this sloka in Sahasranama is attributed to Matsyavatara. So I can say the sloka, one of you can repeat after me. I can, 1 minute, just share this sloka on the screen. Gurur Gurutamo Dhama
Gurur Gurutamo Dhama
Satya Satya Parakramaha
Satya Satya Parakramaha
Nimisho Nimishak Sagvi
Nimisho Nimishasragvi
Vachaspati Rudaradhihi.
Vachaspati Rudaradihi.
I'll say the second line once more. Nimisho Nimishasragvi
Nimisho Nimishasragvi
Vachaspati Rudaradhihi.
Vachaspati Rudaradihi Radihi.
Yeah, there these dirgha. Astu. So
स्वामी भगिनी एक सन्देशः अस्ति संशयः न सन्देशः संशयः अस्ति अत्र एतत् श्लोकम् उपयुज्य मत्स्यावतारम् इति कथम् अवगच्छन्ति
पराशर भट्ट महोदयस्य
अनिमेष इति शब्दः वा अन्य कोऽपि शब्दं वा गुरुर्गुरु इति शब्दस्य संज्ञम् उपयुज्य
नैव नैव तस्य भगवद्गुणदर्पण ग्रन्थे सः सम्पूर्णम् एतादृशमेव विभाजनं कृतवान् कुतः एतत् श्लोकतः एतत् श्लोकपर्यन्तम् एतद् अवतारं सूचयति इति एव तस्य विवरणं भवति तत्र
अत्र सो मत्स्यावतारम् एकमेव श्लोकम् अस्ति वा अन्य
एतदेव इति मन्ये महोदय एतदेव इति मन्ये
परन्तु मम संशयः अस्ति कथं ज्ञायते एतत् मत्स्यावतार विषयम् अस्ति इति गुरुर्घृतम् अपि उपयुज्यवन्तः परन्तु कृष्णावतारे अपि वा गुरु अभवत् खलु
अभवत् किन्तु सम्पूर्णं सः वदति भो प्रत्येकपदमपि तत्र योजयित्वा सूचयति तत्र विवरणं कृत्वा एव सूचयति किन्तु अन्य आचार्यैः तादृशं न उक्तम् अतः पराशरभट्ट आचार्यस्य विवरणात् वयं प्राप्तुं शक्नुमः तादृशमेव एतद् मध्ये एव let me tell in English also. So in this entire grantham, that is the way it is divided. Initially from the starting till this part he will say it is para, then he will say this is about Vyuha Vasudeva, then he will go into Vibhava. In Vibhava he will classify it into everything. So like that this entire grantha classifies the Sahasranama into the different states of Bhagavan and the avatars of Bhagavan. So the entire grantham is shows that to us. So I will try to relate Mahodaya as and when possible with the Sahasranama sloka. I'll try to reference our avatar also as and when possible. Astu. But everything takes time, you know. Like even now I'm kind of rushing through the whole thing. We have only an hour per week, but at least to give an overview it helps. So
परिमितमेव अस्माकं बुद्धिः अपि अतः अधिकं यदि भवती दास्यति चेत् अपि न क्लेश नास्ति कोशः अत्र परिमितमेव आवश्यकम्
अस्तु तर्हि अद्य समापनं कुर्मः कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि अच्युताय नमः अनन्ताय नमः गोविन्दाय नमः अच्युताय नमः अनन्ताय नमः गोविन्दाय नमः अच्युताय नमः अनन्ताय नमः गोविन्दाय नमः सर्वं श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु। जय श्रीकृष्ण। तर्हि अग्रिम शनिवासरे पुनर्मिलामः। Mani Mahodaya, are you there in the group, in our Dashavataram group? If not, please join that group because we keep sharing the link and everything in that group only.
How can I give him the group link, Bhangi? Mahodaya, how can I pass you the link? I'll put it here. Can you copy? Can you click on that?